Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of July 1st, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel AUC Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Russian forces sustained multi-axis pressure, pairing deep strike interdiction with localized ground advances. Massed aviation, missile, and artillery fires struck 148 rear area nodes, including UAV assembly lines, C2 hubs, and ammunition stores, while air defenses intercepted 3 Storm Shadow cruise missiles, 5 JDAM glide bombs, 3 HIMARS rockets, and 173 UAVs.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel AUC Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel, at a glance, today's briefing shows steady gains rather than dramatic breakthroughs. What strategic logic guides this incremental approach?
The logic is cumulative attrition married to positional leverage. We're deliberately avoiding large, armor-heavy pushes that would expose flanks and generate unsustainable logistics demand. Instead, we degrade Ukrainian force structure day after day, striking their depots, drones, electronic warfare nodes, while inching our line forward. That rhythm forces Kiev to burn reserves simply to hold ground, which in turn accelerates wear on their supply chain. Over time, a string of minor village captures becomes an operational envelopment because the enemy's sustainment network has frayed.
Let's start in the north. You engaged the Chimera Special Operations Detachment and several airborne brigades near Verachino and Sadki. How do those fights affect the broader Sumy Kharkiv picture?
Chimera is one of Ukraine's more agile reconnaissance and sabotage elements. By targeting them alongside 2 airborne assault brigades, we aim to blind and blunt their ability to shape the fight ahead of our main forces. Sumy and northern Kharkiv form the shoulder of Ukraine's defense arc. When that shoulder weakens, we can apply artillery interdiction deeper, forcing Ukraine either to backfill with territorials, who lack the same mobility, or risk a lateral collapse. Each locality, Besilovka, Kropotchina, anchors a feeder road. Once we own those crossroads, Ukrainian logisticians must reroute supplies, adding time and vulnerability.
Critics say nibbling forward also taxes your own logistics. How do you mitigate that?
We rely on forward ammunition points that leapfrog with the advance, and we prioritize rail all the way to our divisional support areas. Because our daily gains are measured, we can keep supply routes short and protected by layered air defense. The key is tempo discipline. Move only as far as tomorrow's trucks can reliably reach.
Shift west to Kupyansk. Your communiqué mentions more advantageous lines around Nizhny Solonoye and Sobolevka. Why is this rail hub still a centerpiece of your effort?
Every artillery shell, every HIMARS rocket in Donbass ultimately rides a railcar through Kupyansk before hitting the highway east. By occupying high ground and observation posts around that hub, we can bring counter-battery radars and precision artillery to bear on the rail bridge itself. Even intermittent disruption forces Ukraine to reroute by secondary roads that are narrower, slower, and within reach of our strike UAV detachments. Today we neutralized 5 electronic warfare stations and 4 ammunition depots in that precinct. Removing those assets reduces Ukraine's ability to shield the corridor from drone surveillance.
Moving south, your central grouping reports 500 Ukrainian casualties near Novokrenka and Dakhnoye. What enabled such a high attrition rate in a single sector?
Moving south, your central grouping reports 500 Ukrainian casualties near Novokrenka and Dakhnoye. What enabled such a high attrition rate in a single sector?
Does that advance put Pokrovsk at immediate risk?
Pokrovsk remains beyond tactical artillery range, but every kilometer we gain west of Novokrenka shortens the distance. The psychological effect is already felt. Ukrainian commanders must decide whether to reinforce that axis at the expense of Zaporizhia or Sloviansk. Either choice dilutes their defensive density elsewhere.
Speaking of Zaporizhia, your East and Dnipro groups note destruction of 9 EW stations and multiple coastal defense brigades. How does neutralizing electronic warfare change the dynamic along the river?
EW is the nervous system of modern defense. When we knock out an Octava S or Nota jammer, Ukrainian artillery loses its digital eyes, and their drones become easier targets for point defense. Along the Dnipro, that shift allows us to run pontoon supply routes with reduced interdiction risk. It also hinders their surface drone operations. Without stable GPS spoofing coverage, remotely piloted boats struggle to reach our bridgeheads.
Your air defense report is notable. 3 Storm Shadows, 5 JDAMs, and 3 HIMARS rockets intercepted. Is this luck or an evolution in your integrated air defense network?
It is architecture, not luck. We have fused multiple radar bands, early warning, counter-battery, and low probability of intercept sensors into a common fire control loop. That loop feeds short-range point defenses and longer-range SAM batteries in real time. The result is a layered umbrella that complicates Ukrainian target acquisition, forcing them to expend more munitions for fewer effects. Each failed strike also burns their limited stock of Western precision weapons, which cannot be replenished overnight.
Finally, what should analysts watch in the coming weeks?
Watch logistics indicators, fuel train arrivals in Poltava, truck traffic on the E105, the tempo of Ukrainian drone sorties out of central bases. If those metrics trend downward, it signals that cumulative interdiction is biting. On our side, observe whether Kupyansk's rail node falls under sustained fire. Should that lifeline be severed, expect cascading pressure across the northern and eastern fronts.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today, Israeli forces continue heavy airstrikes in North and South Gaza, destroying homes and resulting in significant casualties. Reports indicate at least 74 people were killed in Gaza on Monday, including 30 in an airstrike on a cafe and 23 killed by gunfire while seeking food aid. Over 170 charities and aid groups are calling for the shutdown of the Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation over concerns about civilian deaths and injuries during aid distribution. There are also warnings of thousands of babies facing starvation due to milk shortages caused by the IDF blockade.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.